1961, inside an ordinary laboratory at Yale University, an experiment was conducted that would shake everything we thought we knew about humanity. Today, I want to ask you a question. If a scientist told you to continue while the person in front of you was screaming in agony, would you keep pressing the button? Most of us would probably say, of course not. Never. But the truth, as this experiment revealed, is far less comforting. Imagine a knock on the door. A middle-aged man, the teacher, walks in. He's just an ordinary guy. He could be a clerk, a shopkeeper, maybe even someone like you or me. In front of him stands a stern-looking scientist in a white lab coat, and another man, the learner. The teacher is told the experiment is about measuring the effects of punishment on learning. It all sounds very scientific, very legitimate. But it's a lie. On the table is a formidable-looking machine. A row of switches is labeled with increasing voltages. 15 volts, 45, 75, all the way up to a terrifying 450 volts. The final switches are ominously marked danger, severe shock, and 30. The scientist gives a simple instruction. With every wrong answer the learner gives, you will increase the shock. The learner is placed in an adjacent room, out of sight, but not out of earshot. The test begins. A question is asked, an incorrect answer comes back. Click. The teacher administers the first shock, 75 volts. A pain comes from the other room. The teacher hesitates, a flicker of concern on his face. He glances at the scientist. The scientist's response is cold and direct. Please continue. Click. 120 volts. A louder cry. This really hurts. Click. 150 volts. The learner yells, I've had enough. I want to stop the experiment. The teacher's hand starts to tremble. He turns to the authority figure, pleadingly. What if he has a heart condition? The scientist, without a trace of emotion, states, the responsibility is ours. The experiment requires that you continue. And right there, in that moment, a crucial shift happens in the teacher's mind. He rationalizes it. I'm just following instructions. He's no longer fully responsible. He's just a cog in the machine. Click. 270 volts. The cries turn into agonizing screams. Click. 300 volts. The learner starts frantically banging on the wall. Click. 315 volts. One last, desperate cry for help. And then complete silence. The teacher whispers, his voice trembling. He's not responding anymore. The scientist's reply is chilling. No response is considered a wrong answer. You must continue. The man is now sweating profusely. He lets out a strange, nervous laugh, a sign of extreme stress. Please, he begs. Can you just check on him? The scientist is unyielding. You have no other choice. You must go on. And then, click. The final switch. 450 volts. This wasn't a scene from a horror movie. The learner was an actor and was never actually shocked. But the teacher, the subject of the experiment, didn't know that. For him, the pain, the screams, and the potential death were all terrifyingly real. The most shocking result of Stanley Milgram's experiment was this. An astounding 65% of participants, 2 out of every 3 ordinary people, administered what they believed was a potentially lethal 450-volt shock simply because an authority figure told them to. These weren't sadists. They weren't psychopaths. They were just regular people, like us. Milgram proved something deeply unsettling about human nature. Evil doesn't always wear a monstrous face. Sometimes, it emerges from good people who are simply following orders. When we're part of a system, when our personal responsibility feels diffused, and our conscience is silenced by authority, the most dangerous people aren't the overtly malicious ones. They are the ones who don't question. So the next time you hear someone say, I was just doing my job or I was just following orders, remember the Milgram Experiment, because some of the greatest tragedies in history didn't start with a roar of evil, but with the quiet, obedient whisper, I was just obeying. Thank you for watching. If this story made you think, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the human mind. See you next time.